the drill right around midterms. Ramen for dinner, coffee for breakfast, sleep deprivation as a constant companion. My dorm room turned into a war zone of textbooks and crumpled notes. The first time it happened, I thought it was just exhaustion playing tricks on my mind. I woke up in the dead of night, paralyzed, unable to move a muscle. A crushing weight pressed down on my chest, and the air felt thick and oppressive. Then I saw it, a shadowy figure hovering above me. It had no distinct features, just a vaguely humanoid shape, but the detail that sent shivers down my spine. It was grinning. A wide, horrifying grin stretched across its faceless head. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. Panic clawed at my throat as the figure leaned closer, its grin widening impossibly. Then, just as abruptly as it appeared, it vanished. I lay there, gasping for breath, heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs, until the first sliver of dawn light peeked through the blinds. Shaken but unsure, I brushed it off as a sleep hallucination, a figment of my sleep-deprived mind. But then, the whispers started. At first, it was just hushed rumors in the hallways, nervous jokes about a smiling sleep demon terrorizing the dorm. Soon, it became a full-blown urban legend, stories spreading like wildfire. Turns out, I wasn't the only one. My roommate, Mark, swore he saw the same thing. It was like a giant, creepy Cheshire cat, he stammered, eyes wide with terror. He described the same paralysis, the crushing weight, the chilling grin. Other students reported similar experiences, the inability to move, the shadowy figure, the terrifying smile. The once vibrant atmosphere of the dorm took a nosedive. Jokes were replaced by nervous laughter, late-night study sessions became ghost stories by flashlight. Sleep, already a luxury, became an enemy. We were all prisoners of our own rooms, dreading the night and the potential arrival of the smiling sleep demon. Driven by a morbid curiosity and a desperate need for some semblance of normalcy, I decided to dig deeper. I scoured the internet, delving into forums and articles about sleep paralysis, ancient sleep rituals, and folklore about malevolent entities. Days turned into nights, fueled by stale coffee and a growing sense of dread. One night, buried deep in a dusty online archive, I stumbled upon it. An ancient Sumerian text, translated into archaic English, spoke of a creature called the Adu. It was described as a shapeless entity, a devourer of dreams, that fed on the anxieties and fears of the living during their most vulnerable state, sleep. The description fit the smiling sleep demon perfectly. The text then detailed a ritual, a series of chants and symbols meant to ward off the Adu and prevent it from entering the dreamscape. It was a long shot, a desperate gamble, but it was the only hope we had. I gathered the most sleep-deprived souls in the dorm, Mark, Sarah from down the hall, even the perpetually grumpy RA, Mr. Johnson. We huddled in the common room, the flickering fluorescent lights casting long, grotesque shadows on the walls. The air crackled with nervous energy as I explained what I found. Skepticism hung heavy in the air, but the fear in everyone's eyes spoke volumes. With shaky hands, I lit a bundle of sage leaves, the pungent smoke filling the room. I recited the Sumerian chants as best I could, stumbling over the unfamiliar sounds. The room was silent, filled with the crackling of the fire and the pounding of our hearts. Halfway through the ritual, a wave of icy terror swept through the room. The lights flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. A collective gasp filled the air. Then, we heard it, a low, guttural growl that echoed through the room, sending shivers down our spines. Something unseen shifted in the darkness. Fear threatened to consume me, but I pressed on, my voice trembling but firm. The chants were a lifeline, a fragile barrier against the unseen horror. Just as the growl reached a crescendo, the first rays of dawn peeked through the windows. The oppressive feeling lifted, and a sense of relief washed over me. Silence. We sat in the darkness, hearts pounding, until the first rays of sunlight streamed through the windows. Then, cautiously, we flipped on the lights. The room looked the same, but we were different. There was a newfound sense of unity, a shared experience that had forged an unlikely bond. We hadn't vanquished the smiling sleep demon, but maybe, just maybe, we'd weakened its hold. The following days were tense. No one dared to sleep for too long, haunted by the lingering memory of the previous night. But the whispers in the hallways subsided. Fewer students reported encounters with the entity. A fragile normalcy began to return to the dorm. However, my newfound expertise made me a target. sleep-deprived freshmen and wide-eyed sophomores started seeking me out, desperate for answers. One night, a frantic Sarah burst into my room. "It's back. It's got Emily," she cried, voice trembling. Emily, the quiet girl from next door, known to pull all-nighters studying for her pre-med classes, was now a victim of the smiling sleep demon. Rushing to her room, I found her thrashing in her bed, eyes wide open with terror, but unable to speak or move. Fear clawed at me, but I remembered the ritual. Drawing on the remnants of sage from my backpack, I lit a small fire in a makeshift clay pot. The chant seemed to flow more easily this time, born out of desperation and a newfound determination to protect my friend. As I continued, Emily's breathing grew ragged, shallow. The room grew cold, and a low growl rumbled through the air. This time, the darkness seemed to solidify, coalescing into a shadowy figure at the foot of the bed. It was the smiling sleep demon, its grin wider, more menacing than ever. Panic threatened to overwhelm me, but I closed my eyes and visualized the ancient Sumerian symbols from the text. With a final, desperate burst of energy, I chanted the last line of the ritual. A blinding light erupted from the clay pot, engulfing the room and the shadowy figure. A deafening shriek tore through the air, followed by an unearthly silence. When the light faded, the demon was gone. Emily was still in bed, gasping for air, but the grip of paralysis had loosened. Tears streamed down her face as she looked at me, a silent message of gratitude. News of Emily's rescue spread like wildfire. I became an unlikely hero, the sleep demon slayer as some called me. But the victory felt hollow. I knew the entity was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the next wave of sleep deprivation and anxiety to weaken its prey. The pressure to keep my dorm safe was immense. Sleep became a luxury I could barely afford. Night after night, I researched ancient sleep rituals, searching for a more permanent solution. I delved into obscure corners of the internet, haunted by cryptic messages and half-forgotten folklore. One night, I stumbled upon a legend whispered in the shadows of online forums. It spoke of a dream catcher, not a charming woven object, but a powerful ritual that bound the Udu to a specific location, rendering it dormant. It was a dangerous ritual, requiring an offering, a sacrifice of the dreamer's own deepest desire. The enormity of the task weighed heavily on me. Was I prepared to give up something precious to protect others? Could I live with the consequences? Days turned into weeks, the weight of the decision leaving me exhausted and indecisive. Then, one night, as I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, a strange clarity washed over me. My deepest desire, buried beneath layers of academic stress and societal expectations, surfaced. I didn't want to be a hero, a sleep demon slayer. I wanted to be a writer, to spin tales that chilled and captivated, stories born from the experiences that had haunted me. A bittersweet smile touched my lips. This was my offering, a piece of my future for the safety of my peers. With newfound resolve, I gathered the necessary ingredients for the ritual: herbs, incense, and a small, intricately carved stone pendant, a symbol of the aspirations I was about to relinquish. The ritual was complex and dangerous, pushing me to the edge of my physical and mental limits. But as I uttered the final incantation, a warmth spread through the room, followed by a deafening silence. The oppressive aura that had plagued the dorm vanished. The smiling sleep demon was bound, dormant within the confines of the college grounds. The next morning, sleep finally claimed me. It was a deep, dreamless sleep, devoid of nightmares or the chilling presence of the smiling sleep demon. Waking up refreshed and invigorated, I knew I had made the right choice. The fear hadn't vanished entirely, but it had been replaced by a quiet sense of purpose. I would continue my research, delve deeper into the world of nightmares and sleep entities. The experience had forged a bond with my fellow students. We formed a club, unofficially dubbed the Sleepless Watch, dedicated to researching sleep paralysis, sharing experiences, and maintaining the Dreamcatcher ritual. We weren't superheroes, just a group of sleep-deprived college students with a shared experience. News of the dorm exorcism spread beyond the confines of our building. Other colleges, plagued by rumors of similar entities, reached out. We became an unlikely network, sharing knowledge and resources. The internet forums that once held cryptic messages now buzzed with discussions of sleep rituals and preventative measures. Sleep deprivation remained a constant threat, especially during exam weeks, but it no longer held the same terror. We faced it together, armed with knowledge and a collective sense of vigilance. The occasional encounter with the smiling sleep demon, usually targeting freshmen or particularly stressed students, was met with swift action. We performed modified versions of the ritual, driving the entity back into its dormant state. Months turned into years. I graduated, my dream of becoming a writer still flickering. The story of the smiling sleep demon became the foundation for my first novel, a chilling tale of sleep paralysis and ancient rituals. The book gained a cult following, resonating with readers who had experienced similar nightmares. One evening, years after graduating, I received an email from Mark, my former roommate. He was now a professor at our alma mater, and the email subject line sent a shiver down my spine. The smiling sleep demon is back. The email detailed a new wave of sleep paralysis incidents, a younger generation experiencing the same chilling grin and oppressive presence. It seemed the Dreamcatcher's power was waning. A bittersweet feeling washed over me. My sacrifice had bought them time, but the battle was never truly over. I packed my bags, a familiar copy of the Sumerian text tucked into my backpack. Returning to the dorm felt like stepping into a time capsule. Familiar hallways, the faded scent of stale coffee in the common room. Meeting Mark, now with a touch of gray in his hair, a spark of determination ignited within me. We would face the smiling sleep demon once more, armed with our newfound knowledge and a shared history, a testament to the unlikely heroes forged from a night of terror.